certainly don't need to be a SQL or SQL expert to get a job as a web developer or as a software engineer, but I've always thought it's a very important piece of at least an education of learning software engineering, learning programming. You've got to be able to work with databases, to build your own apps, to build any sort of portfolio project. So you may not end up working with SQL at all. Many of our students do. Many of our students work with databases daily. But we have other students who go on and probably don't write a single SQL query for 5 years of their career. In terms of building a project, and it's not a prerequisite to getting a job. I mean, if it's a SQL related job, it absolutely is. But in terms of just building a project, it's probably the most important reason we teach it. We kind of need to give students a full stack to make something with. The first thing I would tell students is just to relax and not try and memorize all the properties. There's hundreds or 200 properties or more. It's a little overwhelming if you try and recall all of them. The ones you use the most, you just kind of naturally pick up. But the main piece of advice I would give is to copy what you like. You can view the CSS of every web page in existence. You can open it up in your dev tools on Chrome, for example, and take a look at how things are done. And sometimes it's overwhelming. There could be hundreds and hundreds of lines of CSS, but if you start with simpler web pages, a lot of times I think it's a great exercise to try and, if not recreate a site, recreate a portion. Try and make the nav bar or make the sidebar of a website, try and create that yourself. That's probably one of the simplest ways to get some real experience, real world CSS experience, instead of just learning the basics. I think it depends. I recommend, a lot of students start with front end because a lot of students think they want to be a front end developer before they actually even begin. They just gravitate towards browsers or something that's visual. And a lot of those students end up actually jumping ship and going down the back end lane or back end route. Trying to learn a couple of things. In terms of coding or programming, I've been spending a lot of time picking up some data science stuff. So I've known Python for a long time and I've taught Python for a long time. And I've known like the very basics of some of the data science tools, but I am not at all an expert. So I've been actually working with one of my coworkers, or an old coworker who's a data science instructor, who's given me a bit of help, and I've taken some courses. So that's probably what I've been spending the most time learning as far as code, data science, and some of the Python libraries. And then outside of that, I've been trying to learn woodworking, which has definitely been fun. It's been somewhat expensive. These days, wood is very expensive. Honestly, most of the stuff I've built is like joinery and doing like dovetails and small little boxes. They're not impressive, but it's like fun stuff, sort of relaxing, doing like hand tool work. I made a chair, just one chair. It took like probably half of the lockdown last year to get that done over weekends. I made a couple of desks and a bookshelf, but nothing crazy. I'd like to make a dining table one day, but honestly, like the prices of wood these days, it would be probably 3 times cheaper just to buy a table, sadly. I somehow thought it was going to be cheaper to learn how to make things. It's not the case.